Welcome to your practice today. My name is Alice, and today we're going to move through a cooling sequence of the Chandra Namaskars. So, whereas the sun salutations or the Surya Namaskars are often the most practiced one in yoga asana, they tend to be really masculine in nature, much more yang in quality, really warming, heating for the body. The Chandra Namaskars or the Moon Salutations are the opposite of that. And so they're much more fluid in their quality, much more feminine. There's lots of curves, reflective. And so it's a really nourishing practice to balance out the both sides of your energy. So we'll begin in Shavasana today. So lay on down to your back and find a comfortable way for you to lay down, either with your knees bent. You can even prop your legs over a bolster if you wish, or just simply stretch your legs out to straight. And take a moment to position your body so that you can feel comfortable and at ease. So that the back of your head and the back of your heart, back of the pelvis, the heels of your feet are resting into the ground. And begin to become aware of the ebb and flow of your breath. Watching for the filling up of your inhale as your belly lifts and expands. Witnessing the fall of the exhale as your belly softens and releases closer towards your spine. And taking a few more moments to notice this wave, this tidal wave of breath that flushes through your whole body. Often, a simple act of bringing awareness to your breath will automatically allow for it to deepen. As your breath continues to wash over you, allow the bones of your body to feel heavier as they release into the ground. And the skin on your whole body, the front, the sides, as well as the back side of your skin, to soften and melt. One of the areas that are of our body that the moon governs is the second chakra, or Svadhisthana chakra. And in this chakra, it's the center of our creativity. And it is also the element of water. And so notice the fluid that is in your body. Your blood, the water that fills all of your cells. And how there is a constant flow that is moving and pulsing through your body, which keeps you alive. Remaining in your relaxed state, begin to bend your knees and plant your feet down onto the ground so that they're hip bone distance apart. And gather your right knee in towards your chest, clasp your hands around the fronts of your shins, and we'll begin to warm up the hips by drawing circles with your thigh bone in the hip socket. And so you can imagine like your hands are steering your knees around in a circle, your right knee in a circle. Let your circles move the opposite way. And all we're doing right now is starting to create some gentle movement into the hip joint so that the synovial fluids, which lubricate the joints, begin to activate. Without this fluid in our joints, it would be really, really hard for us to move. Our body would feel quite dry and brittle. And take your right ankle down onto your left thigh And bring your legs in for thread the needle pose. Right hand goes through the space between your legs. And let your left calf rest onto the left thigh. No need to pull the leg in really, really close. Instead, let your thigh bones move away from you so that it lengthens out through your low spine. And taking a few breaths here. Gently release your hands and place your left leg back down onto the floor and release your right leg down all the way towards the ground. And allow for a moment for just that fresh flow of fluid to move down from your crown all the way down through your leg and out through your feet. And we'll switch sides from here, so start by bending both of your knees again. Draw your left knee in towards your chest, clasp your hands around the top of your shin. Create those same circles on the left side as you did on the right. And stirring your femur bone deep into the hip socket, allowing it to explore the full range of movement that it has in the hip. And circle both ways. We've all probably had those times of feeling what it's like to be really tight or bound in our hips. Our hips are the intersection between the lower half and the upper half of our body. And so when there's no fluidity, it can feel really challenging to move, to be at ease. And so in this practice, we'll open up this area throughout all of our postures and through our breath. And take your left ankle onto your right thigh now. Pull the legs in closer for thread the needle pose. And in these asymmetrical poses, bring your awareness to what one side feels like compared to the other. All of these points of awareness, when we draw your attention to certain parts of your body, are really meant to heighten your sense of observation, for you to receive more data about your own body and about your practice. It doesn't mean that you need to make anything different or change things at the moment, but just to simply notice and become aware. And just as how the sun salutations and the moon salutations have different qualities, so do the left and the right sides of your body. The right side being more a representation of the masculine side of you, the doership, the one that is active in the world. The left side being more feminine in its nature, the softer side, the more personal side of your life. Release your legs now and stretch your left leg down towards the floor and become aware of the feeling that is inside your body, the flush through your whole left side. And bend your knees and pull both of your knees back in towards your chest, making yourself into a tight little ball right now. And then circle both of your legs around the pelvis. And you can let your circles be really big or you can let them be small. That's up to you. But allow this exploration to be just that, a curiosity, an exploration of how your hips feel today. Now release your legs and place your hands onto the floor as you roll over to your right side. And we'll slowly begin to transition up now. And so come into tabletop pose. Actually, let's come into child's pose first. So widen your knees apart, let your big toes come together, stretch your arms out in front of you and lay your forehead down towards the ground. And in this new relationship with gravity, let the front side of your body soften completely. Feeling as if your skin is softening. All the muscles are just melting away from the bones. Staying in your wide knees child's pose, walk your hands over to the left side. And keep your right hip tacked back. And infuse your breath along the long right side of your body. And feel the ebb and flow of your breath as the intercostal muscles of your ribs expand out on your next inhale. Soften and contract in on your next exhale. And crawl your hands over to the opposite side now, over towards the right side. Keep your left hip tacked back. Breath awareness moving into the left side of the ribs. And gentle expansion of the rib cage as you inhale. And softening quality as you exhale. And walk your hands back towards the center now. And stretch both of your arms forward. Let your heart melt between the upper arms. The forehead lays back down onto the floor. Begin now to shift your weight over to your right shin. And when you do that, you'll feel your hips sway over to the right side. And now rock about 90% of your weight over to the left shin. You'll feel your hips sway over to the left. And rock your weight over to the right shin. Hips sway to the right. Weight the left shin, hips sway over to the left. Now continue to move in this way, weighting each of your shins at a different time so that you invite a rocking motion into the pelvis. If you wish, you can synchronize it with your breath. And feeling that sense of ease and fluidity all throughout the legs, through the pelvis, and watching the way that your spine also sways from side to side when the movement is initiated from the hips. Now continue this pelvic rock as you firm the pressure into your hands, and inhale, sway your way up into a tabletop pose. Once you get up into tabletop pose, keep your legs the same here. And as you inhale, draw your shoulders beyond your wrists just a smidge. And as you exhale, drop your right hip to your right heel. And inhale, bring yourself forward, a little bit more weight into the fingertips. And then exhale, left hip, left heel. Coming into this motion a few more times, inhaling through center, crown of the head to the middle. Exhale, drop right hip, right heel. Inhaling back to middle. And exhale, left hip, left heel. Once again, moving with the tide of your own breath. And start to smooth this motion out so that you're circling just like a half arc from side to side. And if this motion begins to inspire some other movement into your body, feel free to invite that in and explore that as well. So you can start to make some shapes with your body, perhaps bend your elbows, let your belly lift. And let there be no right or wrong way to move right now, just a simple exploration of the different curves of your body. We'll take another 3 to 5 breaths in this exploration of movement. And start to come back into your neutral tabletop pose. And this time, bring your knees directly underneath your hips. Keep your hands underneath your shoulders to start. We'll tuck your toes for stability. And now we're going to walk your hands forward into Anahatasana. So place your hands about a foot in front of where they were. Grip your hands onto the mat and lift your elbows up so that your armpits hollow and your shoulder blades come onto your back. And it's called Anahatasana because it's the melting of the heart pose. And so let your sitting bones reach high up towards the sky as you melt your heart down between the upper arm bones. Now, if you were to come all the way down one day, your heart would lay directly onto the floor. And so keep your arm bones up so that the heart is supported, and you can keep your forehead slightly lifted as well. And sitting bones remain high, and draw your low ribs slightly in, and fill the back side of your body with fluid breath. And to come out, place pressure into your hands so that you can guide your way back up with ease. Walk your hands back towards your knees, and then sit onto your shins. We'll move into a seated twist. So as you inhale, reach your right arm up towards the sky. As you exhale, right hand to your left knee, left fingertips behind you. Just keeping it really simple for now. We'll begin to flow into the moon salutations soon, but right now we're setting the tone for a really reflective and much more cooling practice. One that is based on awareness of movement, a slow moving meditative flow. On your next inhale, reach your arms back up through center, and exhale, left hand to right knee, right fingertips behind you. Let this twist be guided from the center axis of your body so that your eyes remain really soft. And follow your inhale, bring your arms back up through center, and then exhale, let your hands fall in front of your heart space. And place your hands down onto the floor now and widen your feet, tuck your toes. Come into Malasana or garland pose, a squat at the back of your mat. You can take your feet as wide as you need to. Let the angle of your thighs match the angle of your toes. And then take your arms onto the inner knees and squeeze your knees in towards your upper arms. Let your awareness move to the back side of your body again and watch for any excess wrinkles in the back of your neck. And feel as if you could drop a marble from the crown of your head and let it roll all the way down through the smoothness of your back as it falls off of the sacrum, off of the tailbone, and into the ground. And take 3 more breaths here. When you're ready to release, place your fingertips down onto the floor and then root your feet down so that you can stretch your legs up high or your sit bones up high and begin to move towards straight legs. Don't worry if your legs aren't perfectly straight right now or any time in the practice. Just make sure that there's a feeling of easefulness in the backs of your legs. Now, coming into firmness of the feet, walk your right fingertips forward about 1.5 feet. Cross your left hand to the outside edge of your right shin and hug your shin in towards the midline until you feel the big toe mound and your inner heel weight. And now fan your thigh bones apart so that you feel the pinky toe mound and the outer heel weight. Once you've created these steady legs, then peer underneath your right armpit and take a few breaths in this wide-legged forward folding twist. And switch sides. So release, left fingertips walk slightly ahead of your foot, right hand crosses to the outside of the left shin. Squeeze your left shin in until you feel the big toe mound, inner heels root. Thigh bones press apart to weight the outer edges of the feet. Peek underneath the left armpit. And watch if you have any excess strain in your neck, any holding of your head up. And let it just release so that it matches the flow of the rest of your spine. And then release your hands back down onto the floor. And walk your feet in so that they're just hip distance apart now. And then bend your knees and sweep your arms up into Utkatasana or chair pose. Now let your thigh bones sink down low and reach your tailbone down towards the floor between the heels of your feet so that it lengthens through your low back. Widen across your chest, enliven through your fingertips, and lift not so much your chin and your head, but lift your gaze. Press through your strong legs as you next inhale and reach your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, let your hands fall beside your body and gather them back into the center of your heart.